Number 18, we write the function f of x equals 15x squared minus 2x minus 1 as a product of two, and this should say linear factors here. What that means is right now we have three terms, and it's a quadratic function. And the reason we call it three terms is because these are, if anything is adding and subtracting to one another, we call them terms. So right now we have a quadratic function because the highest power is x squared, and there are three terms. We want to change this to a product, meaning multiplication of two linear factors. So our technique is we use X method. We first label for any trinomial, we label our terms as A, B, and C. A refers to the 15, the coefficient in front of x squared. B is the coefficient from the x term, which is -2, and C is the -1. Now I draw an x, and I'm going to put A times C on the not the numerator, I'm sorry, the top of the x, and B at the bottom. So 15 times -1 is -15. The -2 goes down below. Now you're looking for two numbers that multiply to be -15, but add to be -2. So the factors for 15, and I do a multiplication first, and I ignore the negative for a second. I say, well, we could be 1 and 15. Could I somehow add or subtract 15 and 1, I mean positive 1, -1, positive 15, -15, and somehow get 2? No. So I go on to the next number. Can 2 go into 15 evenly? No, it'd be 2 times 7.5, so I'm moving on. Could it be 3? Yeah, well, 3 goes in 5 times into positive 15. Okay, so now, could I somehow get -2 here? Yes, 3 minus 5. Now I check to see if this gives me -15, and it does. So I found my terms. So from here, how you move on is you go back to your A term, and you say, all right, I have 15x squared there. I'm going to break the power on the A term in half. So instead of being squared, I'm just going to leave this as 15x. So I have 15x, and then I put the plus 3 here. And then I have 15x minus 5. Now, if I left my answer like this, it's incorrect. Just think about it. 15x times 15x is not 15x squared. This would be, I think that's 225x squared. So that's off. So you have to simplify this. And the way you do so, we use the bottoms-up technique. We look for what kind of GCF is there in this factor. Well, this one, 3 goes into both terms, so I'm going to just divide it out. And at this stage, after taking the x, it doesn't move out forward, it just goes away entirely. And is there anything common in this factor? Yes, 5 can go into both. So I'm going to divide that out. Now, if you've done this correctly, your factors, if there's 1, it should match this number. If there are 2 like this, it should multiply to be this number. So 3 times 5 is 15, so we're doing this correct. Our factors would simplify to be 5x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. These would be our factors, and so we could just say f of x equals, and there it is as a product of two linear factors. It's linear because each x is to the first power. So it's the product, that means multiplication, of two linear factors. We could check our answer if we wanted to. I'm going to use the FOIL technique. Here you go first times first, which would be 15x squared. Outside times outside, which should be -5x. 1 times positive 3 is positive 3x. And positive 1 times -1 is -1. We combine these like terms right there, and we would get a value 15x squared minus 2x minus 1, which is exactly what we started off with. So we did do it correctly.